Hi everyone, it's me, Spring the Fiber Enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today is Lampworking Day, and I'm going to be just basically pulling some stringers. More of a practice session for me, getting used to pulling different size stringers. I have a really bad habit of pulling some really thin stringers, which it's not easy to do unless you practice regularly. So let me see if I can show you here. So these are really, really, really tiny. This one, not so bad. This one is almost thinner than a piece of hair. So if I put this in the flame, it would basically just about disintegrate on the moment that it touches the heat. This one, not nearly as bad, but I do have a couple that I pulled that were a lot better. And this is more along the lines of what I would like to get. And if I manage to only get something about that thick, that's fine too. But I definitely need practice on pulling stringers. And I was going through some of my glass. I noticed I had a lot of smaller pieces here. So without a little handy tool that I do not have, this gets really hot at this point near the flame. So you can see my torch just at the bottom of your screen here. Let me move it a little bit more. You can see the torch head here. Well, in order to keep heat to it and get it hot, you're going to start off right about here, but by the time you get a good gather, I'm not far away at all. So how I'm going to do that is get as much as possible and heat it up, and then maybe put it on a punty, or do like I have here where I've attached it to another rod in order to use as much as I possibly can of it. So that'll probably be what I end up doing with these, is get it hot enough that I can attach something to it to give me that extra length away from the flame in order to create some pulled stringers. So that's what I'm doing today. I figured I would bring you along. These, of course, are a lot bigger over here. These are still decent size for doing, different work. If I was to start to make a bead, I may or may not be able to even get a matching pair of beads by using this rod here. So I went through them. I found the ones that, I have different sizes, the ones that were really short, some medium size, and then grab these and these, because there's some bright colors in here too that I want to pull some stringers off of, just in case I want to use those in future beads. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to crank up the flame, all that good handy dandy stuff. I am going to change your position a little bit more today, so that way maybe you can see a little bit better of what I am doing. All right, so let's get started. Now I have sped this up quite a bit because it's very time consuming to do a lot of the things with glass, because you're waiting on the glass to heat up. As I am right now, I'm heating up the end of that glass and the tip of a mandrel, which I'm using as a punty, putting it into that hot glass, trying to keep it as center as possible, and allowing it to cool down onto the punty. Now I have a little bit more length on the rod to allow me to stay out of the flame, but get a lot more from that rod of glass. So I'm just going to start heating up a nice gather here. once I have it heated up, I am able to pull a stringer, which just simply means I'm pulling a string size, a little bit thicker than string size, piece of glass off of this rod of glass. It does take some finesse, as you need to pay attention to the glass as it's cooling and when it's too hot. My previous issues were I was trying to pull it while it was still too hot. So that has been my main focus on today's session, is trying to focus in more on the glass cooling, and as it cools, start to pull. Much better. The glass is sticking straight out. It's not going limp. So now I'm going to take the next color and heat up both the end of the black and the blue and melt them together. So now I can pull some from the blue. And later on, I take the remnants and I create small beads the size of pony beads to really just kind of get as much as absolutely possible from this glass. So my goal was to try to get at least 2 of each color. Now I'm going to attach the red to the blue. There we go. Now we're going to heat up the red and start working on pulling stringers from the red. Not necessarily creating much of anything at this point except stringers to use in future beads for designing on beads. That's what it's used for, is to make dots and draw designs, things like that. So again, just heating up a gather, pulling. Started to pull a little too fast on that one. I still have plenty of red here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull more, at least one more. There we go, much better. All right, now I'm going to grab a mandrel and I'm just going to use up some of this glass and start heating it up and creating those small beads I was talking about. Heat my mandrel up and apply some wraps to my mandrel. Now at the end you will see a really cool picture of these beads that I'm creating from using this leftover glass that's on my punty. So it went from red to a red and blue, a blue to a blue and black. I hope that you all are enjoying these videos of my journey into glass and bead making and glass blowing, all that different stuff. If you haven't seen it yet, I did put out a video where I went to do a glass blowing session not too far away from me and had a lot of fun doing that. I'm waiting on my project to come in the mail so I can show you all. But here we are using up the last of that black on this punty. And putting it in to cool down slowly. Now I'm going to start and add some green to the punty, and then I will continue on. So be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.